I welcome you all to ICF Travel Series Break Free, which we have been doing without a break since last October. And we did a session with Indranil Kaur in January. And today he is back with us to do another session at very short notice. And the title for today's session is Beyond Ladakh. So, Indranil, over to you to give a brief intro about yourself, and then you can start your PPT.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Vivek and ICF, for giving me a second chance for this. Well, the last time when I was talking about myself much more and talking about everything that I've done actually. So today is a more concentrated trail which I'll be basically talking about. Well, about myself, I'm an explorer. You can say I'm traveling the mountains for a lot of time. So and really exploring the various facets of Himalayas, Indian Himalayas as a matter of fact, and also Nepal Himalayas. And apart from that, I also run an adventure tour operating company, which gives me a lot of opportunity to move around the Himalayas with my people and my clients with whom I go. Now, today I'm specifically will be talking about Ladakh. So last time I was speaking about all over the place, eastern, western, central, all Himalayas I was talking. So today I'll be talking about Ladakh and what are the kind of opportunities we have in Ladakh. Even though most of the people who are here have gone to Ladakh, I see some people who actually trekked with me also who are here as participants. I thank them all for joining this. And to start with, before I go into the presentation, I would want to talk about as Ladakh as a whole, because the tourism part in Ladakh has started like recently, I would say, but now it is pretty much picked up, and we are traveling there by two ways. That is, we are going by car from various sides, from Kashmir side, from Himachal side, and the other thing is, and then we're doing the whole car trip and going to the different lakes and high altitude deserts and lakes and everything. And the second way we do it is by foot. Now, I would say there are three kinds of treks specifically in Ladakh because it's land of high passes. So what I feel is one is it is basically all high altitude. Fine, we understand it's high altitude, and the trek start only the lowest trek in Ladakh starts at like 3,500 meters. So it makes it a high altitude from from the word go. So either you are trekking in one valley, like Sham trek, and there are a lot of other treks like that where you're just walking in one valley and you're going by the valley and then going from one point to another part of the valley and you end it there, which we call a much easier trek in terms of altitude and altitude gain and also gradient level. But the second stage comes wherein you are crossing passes, because land of high passes, so you crossing one valley, going to one pass, and then going back to another valley, then again crossing a pass. Like that, there are a lot of trails which we have, like Martha Valley Trek or Lama to Chilling or Rumses Somoredi, which we'll be talking today about. And the third one is basically going a summit. And there are a lot of marching peaks which are there in Ladakh, like this top Kangri we have. We have Mentok Kangri. Mentok is a bit technical, but it depends on conditions, but you can do it. And then we have Kangyatse and a lot of other peaks which you can do. And stand at top of a mountain by walking without using technical gear and enjoy the whole view in front of you, which like it's excellent, beautiful. We have certain marching peaks in Himachal also, like Unam and all, but the difference in Ladakh is like the altitude hits you pretty high. Even in Himachal it hits you, but here the start itself is a very big hit. So that is something. So we broadly categorize the treks in Ladakh in these three segments, in fact. Now coming into the difference between, which I want to talk about, is the when you travel by car and when you're walking. So any journey doesn't happen very fast. It has to be slow and gradual. And when you're walking, I understand there's a lot of physical fitness required, a lot of things like, but yeah, you can do that and you can walk. Suppose you're getting into Leh and going into Pangong, Nubra Valley, all by car. So your destination becomes very important. And the journey is there, but it's very fast. The journey is very fast. You're not able to experience it like first hand while you're going in a car. What I feel, even though obviously Ladakh is beautiful, so any way you go, you'll like it. But experiencing it is a very important part of it. I feel, as I always say that, the journey is the destination actually, not the place where you're actually going. So from that point of view, when you are trekking in Ladakh, you are actually going through the valleys, meeting the people, you're being with them, you are actually walking on that sand or the dust, going over the mountains and the rocks and all. So every step is giving you a new experience. This is my feeling. So I always like to explore a place by foot. That is my basic thing, and that is why I can remember those places, those the intermittent breaks and the places which we have between the two destinations while we are walking becomes a very 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 big experience, and it enhances and keeps it in your memory. That is the biggest part of the thing. So today, what I'm going to talk about is a trek in the Chanthang plateau of Ladakh. It is called the Roomset to Somorori Trail. It's a nomadic trail basically because most of the Changpas, the nomads, are settled at that place. Korzok, which is the main headquarter for them actually, which is the village by the size of Somorori Lake. So we start this trek from a place called Roomset. So I'll just share screen and I'll start the presentation here. Just give me one moment. Okay, so is it visible to everyone? Cool. Fine enough. So when we are, why do I call it unseen is because very few people trek actually. Very few people trek. Not most of us trek actually. A lot of people are going by car and they're going to Somorori Lake, but from a different route. Here we will be crossing valleys after valleys, passes after passes, and we will be reaching that place. To give you an overview of it, I have this. If you can see this map, it's a satellite the same which has been made. So if you see, on the west side of this is the route which you see. The circles are the campsites which we have over here, basically. So we have 8 campsites over here. The last one is Korzok, and we start from Rumse, which is at 4,170 meters, and we end at 4,550 meters. But in between, we have like 1, 2. These are the passes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 passes, and so you have the Shokar Lake out here. You're crossing by the side of Shokar Lake. This green line is actually the trek route, which you can see. So it is going like this, and then it's going by the side of Shokar, and then crossing over, and then it's going to Korzok, which is Somorori Lake, and where it is finishing. Now, the good part about this trek is that when you start from Rumse, and when you reach after 3 days to Shokar Lake, you have the roadhead at Shokar. So which gives us a very good leverage, because if anybody is not well, the person can actually get a car and go back from here to Leh. Or if people have less time, they can straight away from Leh come to Shokar Lake and start a trek from here. So that shortens the day, basically days actually. Otherwise, you have like 8 days of trekking. You can do it in like 4 to 5 days of trekking. So that is the whole profile of the thing. So now if I go into the altitude again, so look at this. These are the campsites, and this La, which is Khamarla, Mandanchanla, these are all the La. These are the high mountain passes which are crossing basically in this whole course of this trek. Basically, if you look at, you start on Rumse and look at the gradual rise. It is like pretty much high up. You go to this is the Khamarla, which is basically day 2. Day 1 we start from Rumse, we go to Khamar, and then we go to Khamarla. This La is a pretty for the second day of trekking. This is pretty much higher. And then if you see, it gradually goes up and comes down. And then again, you have this Shipukla, which is going up. So basically, if I overview this, if you see, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 places were all above 5,000 meters actually out here. So when you're doing a trek like this, you need to have a serious acclimatization, basically, because you cannot just go to Leh, do a 1-day acclimatization and then start this trek, because you're anyway starting this trek from like 4,200 meters. And it is like a straight up walk. When you see the photographs, you'll understand how barren it is and how beautiful it is at the same time. So to start with, it is about getting to Leh. Now, there are 2 ways we can get into Leh. One by, again, driving from Manali, and one is by flying. So I'll talk about the flying part here. We can start talking about the Manali to Leh drive, then it will overshoot our time limits we have out here. So, this
And
is the,
cycling also, one more option.
sorry?
I said one can cycle also, one more option.
One can cycle also. You can cycle, one can bike also. What my point is, like, either you go by road or you fly it basically that way. So when you're flying into Leh, it is one of the most beautiful flights which I've ever been. Like I always try to either fly out or fly into Leh. So the view you get is this. So this is like the I was sitting on this. This is starboard side of the the port side of the plane basically. And if you look behind, these are the Pakistani mountains at the far end. And this peak, which you see, is like a sickle. It's a sickle peak. It's known as sickle peak actually on top. And this is the whole view which you get. And specifically, I'll give you a tip here. When you are flying into Leh or flying out of Leh, and you want to actually view this, then you should sit in the front window seat and not in the back of the window seat, because the engine exhaust comes and it really dirties that window. If you sit in the front, then you can really see it like it's actually there's no glass actually like that. So I'll be just showing you two to three more photographs as to how it looks. Now this is another one. This is another. This is the whole the Ladakhi range actually. This is just before you enter Leh, just before that, and then this is the Shokar Lake, as you see from flight. This is again on the port side, and just 10 to 15 minutes before the flight lands at Leh, if you look down, you see this. This is the Shokar Lake, and those white things which you see all over the side of the lake are salt, not snow. So during the Roomse Somorari trek, we actually travel from this side. If you can look closely, you will see the trail also going. It's like going like that. So this is the trail we follow actually, and then few more like this is this is the landscape you get before you get into Leh, right, basically. And the last one, I guess, this is again another landscape, and you see how all the valleys are converging into one place actually at this spot. And then the play of light and shadow obviously is just too beautiful to to comprehend when you're flying into Leh. So you have to keep your eyes pretty much open, because you'll be taking a early morning flight. It's better to take an early morning flight because the sun will be directional, and then you can see the shadows which are there on the mountains. So which becomes a delight for the eyes basically. So don't sleep on a flight to Leh. Never sleep. You should always take a window seat, and always look out. Always look out, and 25 minutes into the flight, it's a 50 to 1 hour duration of flight, but within 25 minutes, start seeing views which are beyond your imagination actually. Now, after this, I would talk about the acclimatization part before this trek, because this is a pretty, I would call it difficult. I would not call it moderate or easy or nothing like that, but it is a difficult trek considering the altitude. Though we don't have much of a gradient in certain places, you're walking in valleys, but acclimatization part is very, very important. So what we do generally is, when we get into Leh, first 2 days are rested actually. First day is totally rested when you're flying in. Second day we take them to the monasteries, which is around 40 kilometers radius from 45 kilometers radius from Leh, and then we go and hit the highest point, which is the Khardungla Pass, and get into Nubra Valley. So when we get into Nubra Valley is a bit lower than Leh. So what happens when you go to Khardungla Pass, you stay there for 30-35 minutes, and then you go down to Nubra, your body is acclimatizing and understanding how much oxygen I'm going to work on, basically. So one night spent at Nubra Valley. And Nubra Valley is, again, you have sand dunes, you have bacterian camel rides, and it's a touristy place, I understand. But then from acclimatization part, this is like serious. This is not unseen Ladakh. This is pretty much seen Ladakh. But then this is important. This tour is important for you to get acclimatized to the whole process which is coming in front of you when you're doing this trek. So this is certain Nubra Valley photographs. This again Nubra Valley. This is that village you see here is called Hundar. So this is where all the ACO are there here, and people stay here, and then they come to the dunes to do bacterian camel ride and a lot of other activities which have like really enhanced in the past few years. And okay, now then after that, generally what we used to do is from Nubra Valley, we used to come back to Leh and then go to Pangong Lake. So now this road has opened up from Nubra Valley to Pangong. It's called the Shyok Valley River. There's a Shyok River which passes parallel to the Nubra Valley, and this is a road by the side of it. So what the good part which happens in this road is that from from Nubra Valley, you don't have to come back to Khardungla Pass, go to Leh, then again climb up Changla Pass, which you have to cross by to go to Pangong, and then go to Pangong. You can straight away go through the Shok and reach Pangong. So this is Pangong, and this is a lagoon which is there. And then while coming back from Pangong, you climb up Changla Pass and you come back to Leh. So then what happens is you're crossing those two passes only once. You're not crossing them twice, right? And in the process, you're having a seriously good acclimatization. So this is some of this is Pangong. This is another landscape from Ladakh. This is like this was another acclimatization trip which you did towards Lamayuru, and this is basically the Kargil Srinagar highway, basically. And you can see the the layers of mountains and the shadows and play of shadows and the kind of colors which we have out here. Okay, now coming back to the main point here. So this starts from a place called Roomse, which is 80 kilometers from Leh. So generally, you don't have to stay back at Roomse. You can straight away drive. The road is beautiful. It is basically on the Leh Manali highway. So you go to Roomse and you can straight away start the trek from Roomse, because that day you don't have any pass. So I have not arranged the photographs chronologically, because if I do it, then I'll take 3 to 4 hours to do the whole show here, which is Vivek is not permitting me to do that, because we have a timeline and we'll have to do it that way. So randomly, because I chose 3-4 places in this trek which are supremely beautiful, and you can really enjoy in this trek. And after that hard day's walk, because these are long walks, these are like 19 kilometers, 17 kilometers, 21 kilometers walk every day. So when you reach these places and you see the the vista in front of you, the whole thing goes out. This is great. This is what, like, I really deserve this after doing this hard work. So if you start the trek, so this is the way you start it from room. So you can see the gradient. It is in the camera, it is not appearing to be like seriously bad gradient, but it is a good. It's good. Like the gradient is pretty much good, because, and then on top of it, you have high altitude, which is hitting you pretty much big time. So this is a start, and in this trek we have basically all the So we have the ponies and the horses which carry our luggages and all the tents and all the logistics. And if I show you from where I have come, then you'll understand the gradient. You see the green part here. So that is the place. That is where our camp was. So you can understand how much we have climbed up. This green part, you can see the small patch out there at the far end, right? So, and these are long walks. Seriously. So whenever you have to prepare for this kind of a trek, you have to you should be able to walk with yourself for long hours in the mountains, and also negotiate the gradient and high altitude. That is why that acclimatization part which I spoke about before was very important before you even embark on this trek. That's the thing. Okay, so this is one of the campsites which received snowfall. This is called Tisaling. This place is called Tisaling, and you can see the snow-capped mountains. They didn't have snow the time we came in, but snow fell in the night, and this is how it looks. The whole place, how it looks in the morning. This is like early morning actually. So I have 2 more photographs from here. Look at this is the whole campsite. Look at that. And we came from here. This black patch you can see. So you can see my cursor, right, which I'm showing. Yeah. So this is a patch we came in and we walked, and these are tent. This shabby looking tent is of the Ghodawalas. So what they do is they all stay, all 4 or 5 of them stay inside, and they cook their own meal. They don't eat with us basically. They stay there only, and they are in themselves. So in the morning they'll come, get the ghodas, and they'll load our saman and go. Basically, that's the thing. You see, this is the place. These are our tents, and again the ghodawalas this thing. Okay, so if you look at this is the climb up which we have, and look at the views which you have all around the place. So it is not a dangerous trek wherein you're walking on ledges and ridges, and you have the thing of falling down, but on the valleys only you're climbing up. You're pretty much climbing up, and you can see the gradient. If you want to make if you want to understand the gradient, you can see the difference between this person and the person down there. The distance must be around 300 to 400 meters. So you can understand, you can calculate the gradient this person is actually walking on. Okay, so while after climbing up from this from the pass, this is the Shokar Lake. You can see a bird's eye kind of a view of Shokar Lake, and further the Changthang Plateau, which is there on the other side basically. So we came from here. This green patch you can see, we came from here, so you can understand the the how it is doing. Okay, another view of Shokar Lake, and this is again we are climbing up to the pass and we're going. This is not the second day basically. This is one of the views which I'm showing you. Okay, now this is going down to Shokar Lake. This is one day before. So you can understand the walk here. It is pretty much barren. It is pretty much sunny. It burns on you basically, and you're walking on this kind of path like that, and then you go there, and Shokar Lake is this is the start of Shokar Lake, and you go there. So this Shokar Lake part I'm enhancing because this is a beautiful place. It was a huge lake which got dried up, and only a part of the lake is actually right now there. So you cross over to the other side on the road, and then you stay in a place called Ponganabu. So look at that. This is a Shokar Lake, and you're going down. So you can understand there is no problem in walking these kind of thing. If you can do long walks, that's it. There's no ledge, no ridge, nothing like that. But yes, long walk, very, very tiring walk. Every time I've been on this stretch, I've lost some 7 kilos. Like it's pretty much tiring, pretty much tiring. But I'll not suggest this as a weight losing trek for you. Don't do that. But you will lose weight. But then you have to complete the trek to lose that weight. This is Shokar Lake from at the banks, absolutely on the banks of Shokar Lake. And these brown things which you see here are actually not sand or mitti. These are worms. So the concentration is so high that it's gone brown. So you can, if you look ahead, you can see these, these lines which are there. So that's what Shokar Lake, and this is when you do this trek, one of the days you'll be just walking by the side of Shokar Lake. On your left is Shokar Lake, and you're going. So this was what we saw from here also. This is the bank from here. We go like this, and we go here and then go behind this, and then we have the Oldangtunga, the other pass which we cross the next day. This is this is Shokar Lake again on the clearer part of Shokar Lake and the reflection of the peaks and obviously the play of light and shadow which you have over there. Okay, this is the Ponganavu camp. This photograph is like I've posted it I think so many times in Facebook also. This is the this is Ponganavu camp where this is a very ethereal experience. I must talk about this. It was raining before we reached. This was one of the treks in the room center already. And we reached Ponganavu. Our campsite was a bit far, maybe 1 kilometer more, and suddenly the rain stopped and the sun came and this rainbow came in. But my camera got wet because by the time I took out my camera again, it started raining on me. But this view was, I'm telling you, this is just 20% of what I saw. So Shokar Lake is a land of magic. From morning to evening, you get a lot of things which are way beyond our thought process and comprehension. This is the final thing. Like I've never seen rain, sun, and rainbow together in one frame, basically. So this is what that experience was. And see, this is again Shokar Lake. This is sunset on the clouds. So this is how it is. That's why I'm enhancing, like pretty much putting enhancement on the Shokar Lake part, because this is where I always suggest that you stay 2 nights when you're doing this trek, because then what happens is you get acclimatized also, and okay, you can see these vistas as well. See another one from Shokar Lake where the sun was setting. This is the stupa. There was a couple who were like taking photographs, and so this is the view which you generally get during sunset at that place. The very good part about the trek is that every day you're walking so much, and after that when you're resting, you're just reaching the campsite just before the sun goes down, and then you have the whole view and the whole play of clouds and light and everything in front of you. So you think that you actually feel that the nature is rewarding me for this work which I have done for the whole day today, basically. And then you have food, and next morning you get up and you again see you are at the same place. So in the mountains, I feel that when you're walking, you use the whole of the day to walk, because if you reach early, then what will you do? Keep walking, keep absorbing the place, keep absorbing the the energy which is there in the mountains, and experience every stone you step on, because that is how you will remember the place. Otherwise, you will not remember the place. You will only remember the destination or the campsite which you stayed in. That's it. So after Shokar, we come to this place called Nurujan, which is basically a straight walk. It is got no passes that day, but this is really long. This is I mean, it just doesn't end. You just keep on walking, and it and doesn't finish. Just doesn't finish. This is like one of the most, I would say, boring days of this trek. But then when you reach this place and you see this, this is again one of the beautiful views. Basically, if you camp here, we can cross this place and go up this is Forlam Kongla Pass, which is there, and you get into the other side of that pass, and that is the final part of the journey. See, this is the campsite. Beautiful campsite, all grassy, nice. And we have a river out here, which we have to cross and go up this ridge and then climb up the pass, basically. This is again the same place, Nuruchar, where this is our, I think, the dining tent. Okay, so now after you cross over that pass which I was talking about and you get down, Kingshuk is here. He's also there. So this is a trick which we did. And I remember we were walking here and we sat down on one of these grasses. And we had our lunch and we slept. We just slept off here. And you can hear this, this nice river flowing by the side, this crystal clear water. And frankly, I'm telling you, these grass patches are so soft that your feet goes in. It's beautiful. It's like, nice cushioned. So and then the play of cloud was happening all around the place. So we came down from this side. This is the pass. We came down and then we were supposed to walk by the side of this, but we came inside. And because this place was so beautiful, we said that, boss, yahan pe we will have lunch. And we had lunch and we slept for like 1.5 hours into the river for that part 100%. This is another. After that place, this place came, and these are the places where those marmots stay actually around these places. So they sometimes suddenly come out and they show their face and they go back. So this is another beautiful stretch of the walk wherein we go to a place called Rajumkaru, which is our second last camp, I would say. And this is from another trek wherein this Gyama river got frozen. So this was a month of June. We had gone. So this is a frozen river actually. And we were walking, we crossed this part, and then we walked from the other side, we were walking. So it's beautiful, and it's like white. It's like seriously Chadar, as we call Chadar trek in Ladakh. Which is seriously, but we went across the Chadar, not through the Chadar, basically, because we didn't know what to expect on the, on the surface of the thing. Because generally, the river, the middle of the Chadar actually becomes very thin during this time because the snow started to melt. Had we done it in winters like January, February, this would have been like ice. That would have been pretty much easier to walk on this. Okay, that now very amazing story attached with this. Now, what happens is in the campsite, the horses are like, they always go up. Whenever the saman is taken off from them, they will always go up. And this was the first room Somoriri which I did. Okay, by the way. So obviously I didn't know why do they put this, the tie which is there in two legs. So I came out in the morning, I took the photograph, and then I saw that, iska to pair banda hua. So I released it. And this guy went up on top of one mountain and he was standing there. So the Goda wala came and he like fired. He said, boss, now you go and get it from there. This guy ran off actually. So we got delayed by 1 hour. So he said, we do this so that they don't go far. That's why. Otherwise, these people will run away where you don't know. And that's what happened. So I got a big firing. Even though I was the leader of the group, the Goda wala gave me huge firing. Okay, now you have to go and get it. So I had to plead, boss, please get it. Don't do this to me, because if I go up and come down with the Goda, first of all, the Goda will not come with me. Secondly, I will not be able to walk further. Because after this place is the big pass, the Khamayurula. It's like serious thing. See, this is the campsite. This is the Rajumkaru campsite. This is beautiful, and this is all our camp. This is a different camp. This is all our camp. This yellow tent and everything is our camp. And the best part is this humps and the water in between are all flowing, and you have a river out here. And here, in the small snow patch which you see, is the Khamayurula, which is one of the toughest pass in this trek. Because again, no ridge or ledge walking, but seriously steep climb up. Seriously. And that day, basically, you have 2 passes to cross. That is where it kills you. See, this is during the sunset at Rajumkaru itself. This is the river which generally used to dry up during the night and used to start flowing like hell during the evening because the glaciers start melting. So this is again the Godawala's camp, and we were just loitering around. So I got this view. I clicked this. So these are the kind of views which you get in this trek. Colorful mountains, different colors, different light and shade patterns, and Frankly, I've done this trek 7 times, and all the 7 times I have seen different views at different places. So I've basically accumulated the best of all for this presentation. And the most beautiful part is you are actually getting to know these Changpas who are having some 1,500 to 2,000 sheep, this Pashmina sheep basically. And two shepherd dogs are controlling the whole of it. Every day in the morning, you will see, on the mountain, you will see small dots, and thousands of dots moving up. And then by just before the sunset, everybody comes down, and the shepherd dogs are so meticulous. They get everyone down, and they are put in those enclosures which are made with stones, and all of them are inside, and the shepherd dogs are there. So it's a beautiful thing to watch these people also. This kind of control is, so many sheep are controlled by just two dogs, but they're very ferocious dogs. You should not never even go in front of a shepherd dog when they are with sheep. If they are alone, they are the most cutest thing you can ever see. They'll come and they will come do whatever the dog people do. But then, if they have sheep, they're totally threatened and they will hit you. And really, they're very, very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. And this is the place, Raju Baru, where you can see the nomads settlements here. This is one part of the thing. On the right further side is a huge settlement of nomads. And you can never find out where they're settling. It's totally on luck in this trek. You can find them at here. You can find them before reaching Boardwalk, as in Somori Lake on the last of the trek. You can find them much before also. So you will get to see them. This is guaranteed. But where you will see them, you don't know. They're constantly moving, and with everything. And frankly speaking, they are pretty high-end cars. I saw Land Rovers and all that thing, Range Rovers and all they were driving. So a lot of money is there with them, but they stay really dirty. That's fine, but they have a lot of money. This is while climbing up Karsela. Okay, from Shokar Lake, I showed you 3 peaks, if you remember, whose reflection you could see on Shokar. These are the same 3 peaks actually. So Shokar is somewhere there. So we've come all the way, and this is the second pass. So we've come from there. This is our campsite somewhere here on the beach. And from here, we're climbing the last Karsela or Jhamarla, they call it. So after this, this is the last part of the trek where we camp around this part, and we are climbing up Yalung Nyalungla. That is the last part, Yalung Nyalung. Now, the Yalung Nyalungla, it is not a very, very high as in altitude wise, it's pretty high, but frankly, the walk is not, it doesn't tax you that much. Like, we always have this feeling that, last pass aa raha hai, so it is going to be really bad, like we will really struggle and ye hoga, wo hoga. Nothing happens like that. You suddenly climb up, and suddenly you see the pass has come. And when the pass comes, the view is something which is different. And this was taken during August time, and I'll show you the same place that is taken in winters. So this is the whole mountain behind, and we've come from that side, from somewhere behind there, and this is the trail. So you see the pass, this is a final walk to the pass, and it's not that it doesn't look that steep or anything like that. It's just you go through that valley and you go behind this, and this top, but it is looking like a huge top, but it's nothing like that. No, gradual, but yeah, it's a long. Is that day? It's around 19 kilometers of walk from the last camp till basically Korso. So this is the Yalungla Pass. From where this is at around 5,445 meters. So this is Somori Lake, as you see from that pass, and this is one view which is seriously beautiful. This is beyond anything, and when you see this, suddenly this blue thing comes up, then you actually, when you see Pangong for the first time while going to Pangong, it is similar to that feeling, but then you're standing at a much higher altitude than that place. See, this is absolutely on top, because this is like, when you pass is here, just behind this, I went up and then I took this, so you can see the whole length and breadth of Somori Lake from that level. So we have to go down here. We have to go down here basically. So this is like a long walk down, really long walk down. And people who have done it with me, Kingshuk Mandal, it's like bad. It's like you just keep walking, and obviously after you go down, you don't get the Somori's view also after some time. But then you just keep on walking. So this trek is all about walking. Frankly speaking, it's all about walking. But then yes, it's superbly beautiful, because you're getting 2 high altitude lakes, you're getting the Changpas, you're crossing 7, 8 high altitude passes, and after every pass, the landscape is different, absolutely different. when you come down, so you come to this place. It's called Korzok Fu. Now, Korzok Fu is a place where when we came, we didn't get people out here, but now this has become one of the main places where all the Changpas and the nomads actually stay. So they have all their sheep and all are out here basically. So we have come from here somewhere. This is the place from where we come like this, and you walk through this, and then you get into Korzak. This is the final walk which you are basically when you're entering Korzak from that side. So you can see the lake here, and you will go from here, and then our campsite will be on the other side, just crossing this thing. So these are some shots of Somorari what you get from Korzak. This is Langser Kangri Peak basically, which you cannot climb anymore because the Indian Army has banned climbing these two peaks which are there, Chamser and Langser Kangri. So you cannot climb, but this is the whole expanse of Somorari Lake, and you can go to the lake. As you can see, 3 people going. It's a long walk, but you can go to the shores of the lake and enjoy this sunset in Somorari. This is the Chamser and Langser Kangri peaks, which is just on the other side of Korzak actually. Well, this is like, the sun setting, the moon rising, and Somorari Lake. This is again a lucky shot which I got because I just got out and it was happening. So I just took this shot. Okay, this is an honorary mention. So a lot of us don't know about this. So yesterday, Hirak sir we were chatting on our group, and then he gave these 2 photographs. That 92, he did a yachting expedition at Somorari. We never knew about this, and which came as a world record, which was listed in 1993 in the Limca Book of Records. So these are the 2 photographs from that, expedition actually, which Hirak sir did actually. So I would have wanted him to. He is not present in the presentation today. Otherwise, I would have really wanted him to, talk about it in detail, so that we could know. Because I also didn't know. I saw that. I said, okay, when I'm talking about Somorari, then it should be incorporated, I guess. And then he wrote that a couple of years later, National Yachting Regatta was conducted here, which absolutely I have no knowledge about. So somebody, did a yachting expedition here, and I tried to Google it. I couldn't find anything. So I would be basically talking to Hirak sir, and we'll try to, put a Wikipedia post on this and try to update people on this after referring to the Limca Book of Records, because this is something really good. I never thought, apart from Indian Army, anybody boats around in Somorari or Pangong actually. So this is what happened. So I just wanted to mention it while I'm talking about Somorari. And thanks to Vivek, he suggested that. Okay, now trek has ended and we are coming back. So want to put some this thing on a lake which we known as the Sokiagar Lake, and this is just before Somorari. If you're going to Somorari from Leh, and this is just after Somorari if you're traveling from Somorari after completing the trek and going to Leh basically. It's a small lake, and a lot of insects are there. If you go down to the base of the lake, a lot of insects, but then it's worth it because it gives you a different kind of a feeling. Because I shoot 3-4 photographs of this lake where you'll understand the kind of water changes and everything happens. This is one part where you can see the rainbow just started here, and this light and shade and the clouds coming and all that. Now look at this. This is again the same lake where the cloud was just about to burst on, and I had another. I didn't include that photograph where it was like the cloud was absolutely hanging on it, but there was no lake, so I didn't put it. Didn't include it here. So Sokiagar Lake is a place which is a must visit. Where if you're going to Somorari, don't bypass this lake because the road goes by the side of this lake and people tend to miss it. And because you have to really get in the lake to see. Devrup is here and he knows what kind of reflections we got there when we went over there. This is the reflection we got basically. This is Korzak. This is where Korzak is down there, and this is Mentok Kangri 1, 2, 3 peaks are there. And look at this lake. But for this kind of a view, you have to go down to the lake basically. You cannot see it from the road. You can see a water body and good colors and all. But when you go down, you get these reflections over there. And this is again Sokiagar. Now you will not believe this is the color we got. Sokiagar at one point of the time, because of the the clouds and everything. The ambience was such, and there was a lonely guy who was moving around. This Ghoda was moving around. So okay, again a lucky shot because I was looking around. Because what happens in Ladakh is like every time you have to be very, very, your observation power has to be great. You cannot sleep off the drive. You cannot sleep off the walk. You have to just see what you have to see. And Devrup knows is to wake up at night and do star trails in Ladakh. Both of us used to, in Leh only I know till 2 o'clock we were sitting on the on our guest house's roof and we were doing star trail from of Stock Kangri and all those things. So if you are to do serious photography here, then you should take time and go. Don't make a rushed out trip. There is no 6 nights, 7 days package for Ladakh. It should not be. It should always be more than 13 nights, 13, 14 days, or 12 nights, 13 days, because then you can see what happens is if you are not acclimatized, you will go definitely. You can do Ladakh in 7 nights also. You can just fly into Leh and next day go to Pangong and maybe die at Changla. And if you don't do that, then you survive, but you not remember anything because you have to have a good mind to in fact understand these views and enjoy these views. Otherwise, you're just doing it to tick mark Ladakh ho gaya. Kashmir ho gaya. You should not be like that. Traveling is all over time and take out time. I tell my lot of people who say, okay, we want to do Ladakh in 6 nights, 7 days, 7, 8 days. I said, just wait for another year, accumulate these leaves, make it a 14 nights. Do it all and understand the place. Go. So they always say, no, hum wapas aayenge. We'll go again. I said, do again. I'm not saying you have to do it once only. You do again. But then when you do a 14 nights travel, the next time when you come, because of your good experience in the past, you can travel, you can plan it in a much, much more effective way. And you can actually incorporate places which you have not seen. Like there are two facets of Ladakh actually. One is landscape, one is people. So there are a lot of people photographers who go to only villages. Da, Hano, and Panamik, Sumul, Turtuk, Hang, all these places. And there are a lot of people who only come for landscapes. They are interested in people. And I have seen one thing, people who are interested in landscape are also both interested in people. But people who are hardcore people photographer, they are not that much interested in landscape. They will rule out Somorodi. They will say, take me to Korzak village, I'll shoot people in Korzak and I'll get out. Pangong, they don't want to go only because Pangong, you don't have a settlement over there. The settlement you have over there, and now Parkweek settlement is gone. Anyways, for the tourist settlement, there was no local over there. So Tangstay is another place in Pangong, but nobody likes that place. So people are more interested in going to Batalik sector and then Hanu village and Turtuk and all these the Timos Gang villages, and they want to get the culture of the people. So it's always good whenever you're making a group like that of people photograph, take landscape people as well as take the people who do people photography. Then you get the whole place because frankly I am one of them who doesn't do people that much. If I could get good landscape, most of the time forget. But then if I go to Turtuk, there is landscape, it's the same landscape. So I go down to the fields and I take some very nice shots of people in the farms and everything because they have very typical features which are very different from typical Indians, I would say. So Turtuk was basically part of Pakistan. So and the rules and regulations are different over there. And over there, when we go, we are given food in silverware, which is 200, 300-year old, which they have got from Pakistan actually. So these are the things. And in Turtuk, you can go and eat cherry out of the tree, basically. You can just pluck and have it. And everything is organic. So these are another facet of Ladakh, which we can discuss later. And so today Vivek told me that last time I had given three videos I'd given, right? So this is a video. This is a very small one actually. It's not a very big video. I just incorporated it just 2 minutes before we start the session actually. This is a video of Rumse Sumore trek I had taken from my drone. This was the last trek which I did Rumse Sumore. That was in 2018, I think. 19 I didn't do, and after that we were hit. So this is 2018 June. A lot of people have seen this, but I still play. It's a very small one actually. Just playing this. be from June to August. In fact, even till August end, I would say. If you want to get some amount of snow around in the route and all, I would suggest you do it in June beginning to 15, 16. You'll get some snow like that frozen river and all, which I showed. And if you want real good clouds, because photographers always look for a lot of clouds so that they get some depth in the photographs, and then it should be July, August. Then you get a lot of those clouds and all, everything which I showed you were all August. Kingshuk, we started the trek on the first or second of August, I guess. So we got a lot of good clouds and everything. As far as prep is concerned, I would always say that you should be able to walk with yourself in this. There is no technicality involved in this, but yes, long walks. And yes, the acclimatization part has to be pretty big for this. It has to be a 4 to 5 days acclimatization wherein you include Nubra Valley, Khardungla Pass. Even if you don't go to Nubra Valley, you go to Khardungla Pass and come back if you have short time. Don't have to stay. And then go to Changla and come back. And if you can drive from Manali and go to Leh, if you have that level of time, then nothing like it, because then you're acclimatizing on the way itself. And with Atal Tunnel being open, you can easily do Leh in 2 days actually. So and then you can, and yes, if you have short time again, you can do that acclimatization part, and then you can do the trek from Shokar Lake. You don't have to do the room set to what do you call Shokar Lake trek. You don't have to do. And frankly, the most beautiful part of the trek starts from Shokar. If you ask me, the most beautiful part, it starts from Shokar till Korzo. And while on the second last day, you have 2 passes to do. So last time when I went, I didn't do 2 passes in 1 day. I stopped in between. So there's a place called Khama between Khamarula and Patsela. We stopped there, and it was a beautiful place. So then what happens? You're doing that 4-day, last part of 4 day in 5 days actually. So if you don't have that level of time, you can actually complete this whole acclimatization part as well as the trek in and around 10 days and get over with it basically. And what else I want to talk about? Okay, there is no signal whatsoever, no BSNL also, by the way, nowhere. So in Shokar, on the other side of Shokar, there is a village, and you have to go there, and there is a phone, which is a sat phone. So you can call from there. So anytime I take a group and some people are not well, or they've got altitude or something, so I send them back from Shokar. So that evening we hire a car, go to the other side of the lake, call Leh, and the next morning the car comes to us. And anyways, BSNL in Ladakh, the full form of BSNL in Ladakh is Bhai Saab Nahi Lagega. So it is like that. So don't even think about that. You will get any connection at any place. Unlike Pangong, we have some BSNL connection, but this trek is you're totally cut off basically. You start from Rumse, you're sorted. You again come back to Korzo, again that same satellite telecom is there. Otherwise, you have to come to Chumathan to again access your phone and maybe start calling people. So you'll not be able to call. But yes, you have to be mentally very strong to do this, because long walks in the sun and pretty much cold in the nights. So your gear should be very good, and any operator you choose I am also operating in this, but if any operator you choose, you should have a person who's a wilderness emergency responder, medical responder, which I am, or maybe a search and rescue guy who should be with you, because at any point, and oxygen has to be there throughout the trek for this, because at certain places you might feel your deprivation where you have to be given. Like my point is, I always go with my treks. I don't leave it to my people. So I always trek with my people. So I have no problem. But even if you get, you have your own people who does this trek and you want to do it with that person, these 2, 3, 4 things you should always incorporate. Like now, talking about the next project. So wait, how does it go? How does it go again? Okay, so talking about upcoming trips, what I'm doing is Janskar. So now Janskar is another part of Ladakh, which is like seriously, I can say still a bit virgin, not that much infested with tourists and all. So a friend of mine, his name is Nilakya, he's I think there today. He's with me, Nilakya Datta. So he started this company called Scapes. He's a photographer himself. He's a wedding photographer as well as a landscape photographer. And he started a company called Scapes, wherein he wants to give opportunity to a lot of landscape photographers. And he himself is a mentor. So he wanted to do a trip which is like really which people don't do. And we were talking about this trip for a long time. So the trip is this. now we are starting on the 31st of July, ending on 13th August. Where what we are doing is we are making it not a not a homestay kind of a trip, but totally camping trip, because this is going to be a photographic trip. So what we are planning to do is we will be camping at serious exotic locations where people don't camp. Like if you know Zanskar, there are a lot of places where we have twin lakes, which you see in this photograph itself. So we'll be camping in between these two lakes. We'll be camping by the very side of the Drangdrum Glacier or Peninsula, and we'll be camping at high altitude villages in their grounds and not in the guest houses, because we know COVID is there, and I don't want to get into the villages and stay there. So exclusions and inclusions are all written here, and this is going to be Nilaka is going to be mentoring this thing, and it is, you can say, not mentoring, but we want to travel, learn, and share. It's going to be a 13-night, 14 days, and we'll be exploring the newly opened Shinkula from Manali, which is a newly opened pass which is going to Janskar. And don't have to, I will not go to Leh, but we'll only go from Shinkula. We'll be going towards Suru Valley, and we'll be camping at Suru Valley and then come back the same way, basically. So it's 39, 14 days from Chandigarh. This is the thing. And the beautiful part is Nikon is our equipment partner there. So Nikon is going to give us, I think, 2 cameras, I think the Z series, and with some 3-4 lenses. So participants will be coming, they can click some photographs from that. And also we will be publishing a book, which will be the photographs taken by the participants, and it will be given to them. And then online. So this will be very good for people who are aspiring to be landscape photographers. So we will have an astrophotography guy also with us, Tanay Das. So he will be teaching astrophotography at night, and absolutely at those locations. So it's all camping with genset for your charging your thing. We'll be traveling in Fortuners with support vehicles and everything. All meals will be cooked at that place. So no village cooked food or no cold food, nothing like that. So if you think anybody is interested or you are interested, you can just I will send the link to Vivek, and you can go through this link and understand as to how to go about this. We have very less time though. Starting on 31st of July, ending on 13th of August. So this is the next project which I'm doing, and this is going to be an exclusive trip. And this itinerary, it took all my experience to make this itinerary, basically, because we are not staying at places like Padu. Like that's where everybody stays. So we are really going to Sani village, and we'll be camping by the Sani lake actually. We'll be doing the Fuktal trek, which is from Purne. So we'll be staying in Purne. Another very important thing is we'll be camping at the base of Gumboranjan Peak, which is the most one of the most revered peaks of Zanskar. So after crossing Shinkula, you get down to Kurgia, which is a village called Kurgia. From there, 12 kilometers of hard drive. It is all 4x4 drive. Will take you to the base of that peak. It's a beautiful conical peak. So we'll be camping there, and we'll be exploring the night sky, and we'll be taking some astrophotography. We'll do some astrophotography over there. So Nilaka's venture. I am Ongo's Escapades. I will be doing the travel part. All the logistics will be handled by me, and equipments will be handled by Nikon themselves. So that is what we are looking at. Right. So I guess I'm at the end of my thing, and Vivek, can you initiate the Q&A if anybody has?
Yeah. Sure. Thanks, Indranil, for another exciting webinar and breathtaking photographs that you always share. Yes, Devroop had a query regarding the climate and the temperatures.
I'm not able to hear you.
Vivek, you're not audible.
Yeah. Vivek, I can't hear you.
Indranil, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, tell me.
Yeah. Devroop had a query on the weather and the climate part.
Okay.
So can you?
Yeah. So I think I told that if you go in the month of June, don't venture during the month of, see, because of global warming, we're not getting a lot of snow, and certain times we are not, getting this thing. But I'll go by the, the trend which we maintain and we adhere to, is that June to August end is the very good time for doing this. And obviously July, August, it will be a bit on the warmer side, because while you are walking in the lower, going into the valleys and all, it'll be warm. But yeah, in the nights it's cold. But yes, you want to make it exciting, go in June 15th till like July first week. Then it becomes exciting. You get the snow-filled river, you get good weather, and maybe some drizzle. See, there is no torrential rain in Ladakh, right? But you might get some drizzle. But yes, with drizzle, you get the rainbow. So drizzle is welcome. Get wet, get the view. That's what I would say always. So rain always comes. In Ladakh, when the rain comes, the clouds are, the clouds scattered out. When the clouds scattered out, the sunset is exquisite, because it's all absolutely, is reflecting on the clouds, and then it's falling on the landscape, which gives you the light and shade kind of thing, which is beautiful. Yes.
Devrup, does that answer your query?
I guess.
Yeah, I think he's not able to unmute. Yes, Sudhanshu. So yesterday you were discussing about going on this trek on a bicycle. So can you tell us something more about what you're planning?
Hi Vivek, hi Indranedi.
Hi,
What a
Sudhanshu,
lovely, really loved the presentation, and it got me so thrilled that I don't want to wait for my expedition anymore. So I actually had planned this route in 2018, and I had started doing it from Rumse, and I went till up to Kamarla, which is the first pass. So I couldn't go further because my stuff was not working, and I had a serious problem. So I couldn't recover, and I had to come back. But this year again, Kishan is also here, who has joined. Abhiroop is one. We three are doing this route again in the month of September, first week. And we are starting again from Rumse. So first we'll be doing the Zanskar Valley on a cycle, and then Zanskar Valley through the newly opened road to Leh, not the Suru Valley, through Parfila, Hanumil, and then Singila, Lingshed, and to Leh, and then get to Leh, and then to Rumse, and then the same route you have done 7 times, which is like phenomenal and amazing. The views was so like calling, I would say. I'm like, it's just dying to get to these places. It's so remote, and I, in as a cyclist who loves adventure so much, these places are like, are always on my list, because the remoteness, it's something you cannot get by doing, let's say, Manali, Leh, or even Zanskar, I would say, because I've done Zanskar 2 times already, and I just crave for remoteness. So this place really got me interested. I had a few questions. Even Dhruv, who was here earlier, he also had a question about the water sources after Kamarla. Also, he was asking that is how much of the route is, I don't know if you can answer, but how much of the route is cyclable? How much of the route you can cycle? I pretty much know that you have to drag the bike on the passes and then do a downhill, but you must be knowing something more about it, because you have done the whole route so many times.
Yeah, so I would say, since you have done till Khamar, you can cycle till Khamar, right? Khamarla, okay, you have to drag it up, but you can come down, and you can go till Vandanchal and go to Tisaling all by bike. That's not a problem. Okay, from again, all the climbing ups in the pass, apart from the Horlam Kongla, which is the Nuruchan, from Nuruchan when you go to Rajumkar, that pass, that you can climb up also. It will burn your calf muscles, but you can do it. You can still do it, because you can walk. It's like a stair, gradual, around 15 to 20 degrees. And apart from that, again, you can even climb up Gyalung Nyalung. You can cycle it, most of it. Only the last part, where I will not say the last part, maybe 70% to 80% part, there's some rocks and all this thing. If you can negotiate it, it's good. Otherwise, you just to carry it. Otherwise, you can straight away go to Nyalung. And from Nyalung, while you're going down, I would suggest that you cycle just few parts of it you cycle, not the whole part of it, because it's like that. It's like a serious drop. So when you start from Yalung, first maybe 2 kilometers, don't cycle. And after that, when you are about to reach Korzokhu, straight away cycle it out. That'll be the thing. And as far as water sources are concerned, there are 2 kinds of water sources over there, which in my 7 treks I have found out is that one is the spring water also. It might look very less, but they are constant source of water because they're spring water coming from the mountains inside the mountain, not the glacial water which gets frozen in the night and then doesn't come. So those are the common water sources we use for our camping and stuff, right? So in my last trek itself, when we were going to the second last pass and going to Khama, before that there is a patch of land where one of my person was not able to walk. So I saw a small water stream flowing by, very less water. So then, and the water was warm, not that usual temperature, it is a bit warm. So I understood it is not coming from any glacier, it's coming from inside the mountain. So it is not going to freeze in the night. So even my guide said that, sir, ye to freeze ho jayega raat ko, because the glacier, this glacier ka pani hai nahi. So this, whatever flow, you're getting less flow, but it's going to continue to the whole of the night. And then it was there. And so you have to find out such sources, because when you're cycling, your places to stop may not be the stops where you want to actually, which are the normal pit stops. Maybe you don't stop at Tisaling. Maybe you go ahead if you reach early. You say, okay, chalo, we'll go ahead. So there are a lot of water sources over there. And the whole route is by 2 water sources only. But yeah, definitely, while you're climbing up passes and going down passes, there's no water source. That is the only thing. Rajungaru has got water source. Khama has got water source. Korzok has. Khamar has. Even Tisaling has. So this trek, now thing is, after you do Zanskar, okay, what we're talking on chat, I wanted to update you on 2 things. First thing is the RT-PCR test. They're actually they're checking it at Kurgyok. This I came to know, and yesterday I came to know another thing, that they have increased the time from 72 to 96 hours. So you have time to, when you're starting from Manali to reach Kurgyok, you have, after your test report comes, you can reach within 96 hours. This is the latest I have, unless they change it again or something like that. Because
I got a call from village Chika yesterday only, and you are right. The checking is at Kurgyok village. Yes.
The checking is Kurgyok, and 72 has increased to 96. That's
96 is for all over Ladakh. Yes.
All over Ladakh. Yes. So any entry point basically. So obviously after crossing Chinkula, Kurgyok is the next village in Ladakh, right? So
correct.
So
yes.
You're sorted there. Otherwise, I was telling Abhirup that you go in the car till Darcha, and from there you go to this thing, cross Chinkula and get into Kurgyok, because you have to save time over there.
Right.
So that is what it was.
What is? Did you take any permits for Rumse to Karzok, or you?
No, you don't need any room. No, but you have to take a permit for getting out of Karzok, because the Somorari basically. So what we did is, with our cars which came from Leh to pick us up at this place, Somorari, they were carrying our permits because we were walking. So since you will be cycling from another side totally, so I would suggest you get that permit done beforehand and give an estimate. If it's like day X you're reaching, so you said day X minus 1, X plus 1. Keep 3 days of staying, so that you have that slack time and you don't overshoot the time when you're reaching Somorari. If you're doing that, but it will be great if you can do Zanskar and then do routes at Somorari. That's going to be serious.
No, that's the whole plan. Doing the whole route so that we are acclimatized and we are able to walk that much, cycle that much, and then while we reach Leh, Kishan is joining us for the last leg of the journey, which is Rumse to Karzok. So we will be well prepared for all of these things. I just had one more question. Do you remember any severe or like a large river crossing? Because that is something which I'm always scared of. So
you have one river crossing at this place from Nuruchan. You just cross that river and climb up the Horlang Kongla, but that is not severe. There's nothing. It's just something like when you start from Rumse, you climb down and you cross a river.
Yeah.
Just start something like that.
Oh, that's got it. That's
where
pretty
much negotiable.
That's where I camped and took my cold bath.
Yes. that's under the knee kind of water. And if you actually cross that river pretty much early in the morning, then you don't get that much flow also. It's by pretty low level water basically.
Yeah, and what happened? I actually dragged my bike to Kamarla, and I returned on full speed and reached Rumse again by late evening. So as Shepherd kind of noticed those bike trails from Kamarla
Okay.
all the way to that camp. And then he met me on the road saying, somebody took his bike today on the pass. So he was so he was like, now motorbike, how come somebody took his motorbike to the, and I was like, no, it's my bicycle's tire because they are 3 inches width.
Okay, okay,
So
okay. So he thought it's a bike
it's a
tire basically.
motorbike. Yeah, yeah,
Motorbike
yeah.
tire.
Yeah, locals were saying now a 4x4 can also go up till Kamarla.
4x4 can go. Yes, 4x4 can go. That's true.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, yeah.
See, it's a very nice trail actually. Just Hamayurula is a bit of a tacky kind of a place. So you have to go like that. So that's where the Gadi won't go. So you have to walk it. And
Right.
if you're taking cycle, you have to you carry a cycle. I feel
Great.
that will be the problem.
Thank you
That's
so
what.
much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Indranil.
Thank you, Sudhanshu. We'll be in touch with you on this.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Any more?
Yeah,
Questions?
Nivedita Sheel, she had a query about one of the photographs in which the river was of green color. So she was asking whether it's because of the camera lens or whether it's a play of light.
Is this the photograph which had the horse? The
I
last
don't.
photograph?
No, no,
That
no.
is, it is not a river, it's the Sokyagar lake actually, not the
Okay,
river.
okay.
So that is because, see, whenever it's blue sky, and there are two ways the color of the water becomes blue. Either it has to be very blue sky, or it has to be very deep waters basically. The two ways. And Sokyagar changes color all the time. And I've seen that when it's cloudy, very very cloudy, it goes green basically. That's. But yes, I was using a polarizer on my camera, so I definitely polarized so the contrast went up. Definitely, that has happened. A
Okay.
circular polarizer is what we use for landscape photography, so get the contrast right. Basically. That's all.
Thanks for clarifying that. And we would also like to hear from Nilakya Datta if he can unmute himself and give us a brief intro about the photography tour which Indranil mentioned at the end.
Nilakya is there?
Yeah, I can see him in the participants
There
list.
is. There is Nilakya.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you are.
yes, yes.
Great. So we are organizing this photography tour to Zanskar starting from the 31st of July. So it's basically, I mean, a venture that me and Indranilla has partnership in. So that is how we are going to go. So Indranilla, I mean, if you can brief a little bit on the same. I am actually, I mean, in the middle of something, so I was just listening to all this. So we can tell a
Yeah,
little bit.
I have told everything about it because I showed our poster and I spoke about everything. So if anybody wants to basically inquire about it, they can connect to me or Vivek also. I can give the link to Vivek, or I can post it here also.
Yeah,
Should I post the
yeah,
link here?
yeah, you can post. Nilakya Indranil did tell us about the tour and he shared the dates and all the details.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So I'll quickly tell you about that. So we are
So
starting 31st of July and we are going to do it till the 13th of August. We'll be starting from Chandigarh and ending the tour in Chandigarh. So we are not going by the conventional route of Leh or Srinagar. So we are starting from Manali. Basically, we are from Chandigarh, we are going to Manali, and from there we'll cross the recently opened Shinkula. And basically for the first night, we'll camp near the Gumboranjan Peak, which is again a very beautiful place. And after that, the most interesting part about this tour is that we'll be camping at some of the most exotic locations where nobody camps. So whenever we see a Zanskar tour, generally we see that people go to Padum and from there they visit these monasteries and villages and they come back to Padum. But in our case, what we are going to do is we are going to go to these villages and we are going to camp in those, I mean, near those villages by the side of high altitude lakes or rivers, or let's say the meadows. Because, I mean, what we have thought of is a photography tour. So what we are going to do is we are going to give all the photographers that opportunity wherein from the campsite only they can get the frames. So in photography, what we generally look out for is the golden hour, the blue hour, let's say the night for astrophotography. And we generally hunt for those places from where we can get the right frames. So in this tour, we are going to give that opportunity wherein we are going to be camping at those places. From there, they can get the right frames and they can photograph. So this is how we are going to go, and it's a very comprehensive tour. We have not made it a short one. We have made a long one, wherein we are going to be camping at each and every place. We are going to give ample time to the photographers so that they can, photograph the places. And thanks to Indranilda has given us some of the very, exotic points. Like, for example, generally people, what they do is they camp at Pensila for capturing the Drangdrung Glacier during the sunset hours and the night hours. But Indranilda has offered, wherein he has said that we are going to be camping between Statso and Langso, which are the twin lakes, just below Pensila. But the altitude of these two lakes is higher than Pensila, but it is a little down from the pass. So we are going to be camping in between those two lakes. And from there, we are going to do our photography. And then we are going to camp at Rangdung. We are also going to go to Suru Valley. And from Suru Valley, we are not going to exit Zanskar through, let's say, Leh or Srinagar. We are again going to come back. And another most interesting part is that on the 12th of August, we have the meteor shower in place. So on that day, we are going to be camping just below Gumbaranjan Peak. So, that is the way we have planned it, so that we are there at the base and we can capture the meteor shower with a beautiful backdrop. So all the elements are going to be in place. We just have to apply the right techniques to get the right photograph. So that is how we are going to do it. And Indranilda's organization, On Goes Escapades, is providing all the logistics for the same. And since he has been in this industry for a long time, doing it for the last 16 years, so all the facilities are going to be top-notch, excellent. And for the photography thing, we have also partnered with Nikon. Nikon is the equipment partner for us. So they are going to be providing some of the latest high-end equipments, which the participants can actually use during the course of the tour and can get some beautiful captures from the same. Plus, they will definitely bring their own cameras. And we are three photographers actually. Indranilda, I actually didn't see all of your Room Se Somoriri photos. Today I saw it, and now I am a big fan. All right. So apart from me and Tonai on this tour, we are going to be handholding the participants. Whosoever will face any challenge or would want some help in the photography thing, definitely you are also in our team doing the same thing. All right. So you are not just a tool leader, you are one of the photography mentors too for this one. So that is what. So Indranilda has posted the link. Anyone who is interested can, can go through the detailed itinerary and see what all is included and all, and accordingly can get in touch with either Indranilda or me, and we can then take it forward from there.
Yeah, thanks, Nilakya, for giving us the details. Devanand Paul has a query. Devanand Paul, you can unmute and ask.
Yeah. Hello, Indranil. It was
Hello,
it was a wonderful presentation. So I've been to Ladakh earlier for a week, but the way you have taken us through, it's very interesting. So definitely I should do that one. So I was just wondering, what is the preparation you require? Because you should the way you have to keep your body fit. So should you keep practice walking or per day or something? How do you make yourself fit
for trekking? Since this is not a technical thing, and it is most of the thing is, acclimatization will be done basically, which I told you that you will do the acclimatization by going to various places and you'll be acclimatized. That's one part of the story. Second part is endurance. I generally say I don't make it a very big issue. I just say that you do brisk walk, 45 minutes of brisk walk every day for 30 days, and then again 45 days of brisk walk with another 5 kgs on your backpack. 2 months of just this much is going to get you sorted. I will not, because that walking is so good, it actually does your core also. It gives you a sense of loneliness while walking also, because we are very much, we walk with friends and we don't have that mentality to walk alone. But trekking is basically a very personal experience. You don't walk and talk, right? You walk. So you have to have that tenacity to walk long hours, and for that you need your legs to be strong and your core to be strong, and definitely your minds to be strong, which is something which cannot do by exercise, which is to be trained basically. And if you have been to Ladakh and you have been into this, then your muscle memory will kick in the point you step onto rooms and you start walking. This will be like the thing.
Yeah. So how much of weight you can take or carry along? See, not only the backpack. I'm saying for the other stuff.
For the other stuff, see, we if you go with me, I'll tell you about myself. So generally, for participants, only carry their, one wind cheater, one water bottle, and some knick-knack snacks, and some medicines or something in the backpack, and plus a lunch box, which I'll give you. Apart from that, the whole luggage should be packed in a duffel bag, which can be around 15 to 20 kgs. And you can get it and it will be carried by the mule with your this things. So two-way packing. One is day pack, one is your duffel bag. That's it.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
The last one is like, how can we in touch with you? Because with the current COVID, it's very difficult because I live outside the country, so it's difficult to come back and move. So
Whenever it opens up, what I'll do is I'll put my number in the. Can you see the messages which are happening here?
Yes.
I can just give my number out here.
So is there a Instagram or Facebook or whichever?
I have Instagram. I have Facebook as well. So wait, I'll just give those links also. That's my phone number and just give me a second.
So anyone else, if they have a query, they can ask before
Yes,
we
yes.
conclude the session.
Is there any more questions?
I actually wanted to get some inputs from Bernard also, but he seems to have left.
Okay. Bernard was there?
Yeah, he was there. So
if I may add on something, I actually missed that part. So for our upcoming Zanskar tour, Bernard, who runs this organization by the name Raindrops Publisher, has collaborated with us. So what we are going to do is, after the tour is over, the content of the participants in terms of photographs, in terms of the write-up, in terms of any paintings which they make, we are going to publish that in the form of an anthology, which is going to come out in the form of a book. And that book, we are going to give it to our participants. And at the same time, those books are going to be up for sale on Amazon, the proceeds of which will actually go to the Himalayan kids or the people, to the backward areas that we are going to do. So this is another part of our tour. So Bernard basically has collaborated with us for the same.
yeah, thanks, Nilakya, for providing this information.
Yeah, I have given my Instagram and Facebook link in the chat box. So you can, whenever you want to get in touch, you can get in touch straight away with me, right?
Yeah, Devanand Paul was asking this because he's based in Dhaka. And
All right.
that's why he was asking about those travel
Thanks, got it.
thing. Yeah. So thanks, Indranil. Thanks, Nilakya.
Thank you, Vivek.
It was
Thank
a great.
you, Vivek.
It was a great session. It was good to be in touch again, and I do hope we will have a follow-up session with Nilakya, Datta,
Yes,
Tapandas, and
maybe on 17th, right?
And Bernard next week, and you are also welcome to join that.
Right, I'll be there.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
Indranil,
Take care.
Yeah, thanks to all the participants also, and
Thanks.
have a nice day, everyone.
All of you have a nice weekend and
Yeah.
stay safe.